Hello everyone, good day. Today we will be talking about another lecture series on the subject crop science. And particularly, medyo exciting yung topic natin ngayon because we will be talking about modified roots, stems, and leaves. Or what I mean by modified, ito yung mga roots, stems, and leaves that are specialized yung kanilang functions. Specialized meaning it is unique, it is at some point different from the usual functions of your roots, stems, and leaves. So balikan nga lang natin, ano ba kasi ang function ng roots, stems, and leaves? For roots, ang primary function ng ating roots is to anchor the plant in the soil and at the same time absorb water and essential nutrients from your soil. Yun ang primary functions niya. For stems naman, their main function is to support your plant by holding the leaves, the flowers, the fruits in place. Now, at the same time, stems are also very important in the transport of water and nutrients through its vascular tissues, our xylem and phloem. How about yung dahon, yung ating leaves? Ano yung primary function niya? Ang leaves natin, ang primary function niya is photosynthesis, which is the process by which through through the use of sunlight and other chemicals, nakakagawa ng sariling pagkain yung halaman, nakakagawa siya ng sarili niyang glucose. And leaves are also involved in the process of transpiration, or wherein they release oxygen into the air, to the atmosphere, and take in carbon dioxide. Now, yan yung main function ng roots, stems, and leaves. However, we can see that for some plant species, we can observe that for some plant species, these parts, these organs, has a remarkable specialized function that is different from their usual function. Bakit kaya? Bakit nagkaroon ng specialized function yung mga different plant organs na to? Well, it is because of how adaptation occurs na sa mga areas kung saan may environmental pressures or challenges, nag-evolve yung mga plant organs to fulfill or to combat yung mga pangangailangan na yun. So, ano yung purpose ng pagkakaroon ng isang modified plant parts, particularly stem, leaves, and roots? Unang-una, adaptation to the environmental conditions. Okay? So yung plants natin, yung ibang mga plants natin, mostly they are in an environment kung saan, let's say, extreme yung temperature, may drought, or very poor yung soil quality. Now, to survive, they have evolved certain specializations or modifications that allows them to make the most of the available resources in their environment. Another one would be nag-evolve, nag-adapt yung mga halaman natin to enhance nutrient acquisition. Now, we all know that all living things, animals, animals and plants as well, they need nutrients to survive. And for them to survive sa mga environment kung saan hindi nagpo-provide sa kanila ng maayos na nutrients, let's say very poor yung soil, very acidic, nalileach away yung mga nutrients na kinakailangan nila, they were able to create modified functions dun sa kanilang mga plant organs para mapunan yung mga pagkukulang na yun ng kanilang environment. It might as well be protection from predators and reproductive success, di ba? Kasi ang halaman, hindi naman yan nakakatakbo. Kumbaga, kapag pinili ng hayop na kainin ang halaman, hindi yan makakatakas. Mauubos sila. So, nag-develop sila ng adaptation rin to protect themselves from being eaten by animals. And makikita natin later on na interestingly, ang mga halaman pala, pinoprotektahan nila yung sarili nila kasi gusto nilang maipropagate yung kanilang lahi or magkaroon ng tinatawag nating reproductive success. So, tingnan na natin. Ano yung mga different modified plant parts? Pero mag-focus tayo sa modified roots, stems, and leaves. Simulan natin ang discussion sa modified roots. Ano yung mga examples natin ng modified roots? Right? First off, we have storage roots. Now, storage roots, ang pinaka-purpose ng modification nila is ito yung mga roots kung saan they store large amounts of starch, carbohydrates, and glucose na pwedeng gamitin ng halaman, especially during those times kung saan hindi siya makapag-photosynthesize ng sarili niyang pagkain. So anong mga example ng storage roots? We have our carrots, we have our sugar beets, and we have our sweet potato. Now itong mga specialized roots na to, they have specialized cells as well that accumulate large amounts of carbohydrates, mostly in the form of starch. Kaya yung mga halaman din na to, yung mga roots na to, mayaman din sa carbohydrates. These roots also ay may very thick na parenchyma tissue. So it's the main tissue of almost all plant parts, which has a high capacity. Itong parenchyma tissue na to, mataas ang kanyang capacity to store energy-rich compounds such as our glucose. Now, these stored resources, ginagamit yan ng halaman, as I have mentioned earlier, kapag hindi posible ang photosynthesis. Especially, let's say, during winter or during drought. During winter, kung saan wala masyadong araw, or drought, kung saan wala masyadong tubig. Kailangan nila na mag-store ng sugar or glucose na gagamitin nila para mabuhay. So by storing this energy, itong mga storage roots natin ensure that the plant can survive through adverse conditions and still they can rapidly regrow when conditions are improved. So yan ang isa sa mga types of modified roots, storage roots. Another type would be aerial roots. Now, aerial roots, yan yung roots na tumutubo, they grow above the ground and are often exposed to the air. Kaya siya tinawag na aerial roots. Ano example ng aerial roots natin? One classic example would be your orchid. Okay? In fact, your orchid, yung roots ng ating orchid, kasi nasa tumutubo yan above ground, right? Mostly sa mga puno, yung roots ng orchid is covered by a tissue called velamen. Yan. Anong ginagawa ng tissue na yan? Now, this tissue helps the roots to absorb moisture and nutrients from the air. Okay? So, because of this velamen, yung roots ng orchid can take advantage of rain, dew, and even humidity. Kaya nakakapag-absorb siya ng tubig and nutrients through the air because of this specialized tissue called velamen. Now, sa case naman ng banyan trees, ito yung banyan tree, which is also producing aerial roots, yung roots niya ay tumutubo from the branches and it will eventually reach the ground, tapos yung roots na yun ay titigas. Okay? So yung pag-thicken nung mga roots na yon actually provides structural support din doon sa ating banyan trees. Another function niya sa banyan tree is it helps the banyan tree to cover more area. So nakakapag-expand yung banyan trees because of this aerial roots na mayroon siya. Okay? Another type of modified roots would be your prop roots. So prop roots, ang pinaka-purpose niyan is to provide additional support to your plants. So ang prop roots, tumutubo yan from the stem. Okay? Yan, no? So nanggagaling siya from the stem and it will extend down to the soil as an additional anchorage sa iyong halaman. Now these roots are thick and strong kasi nga ang pinaka-purpose niya is to help, is to provide added support sa iyong halaman. So example ng prop roots natin is yung prop roots ng corn. Yan. So corn ito. This one is corn. And prop roots for mangroves. Now, prop roots, again, ang function nila is to provide additional support kasi very useful yan, especially in areas or in growing areas in soil na hindi ganun ka-stable. Kumbaga, possible na malambot yung lupa, okay? Or yung lupa ay hindi ganun ka-intact, very loose yung soil. So the plant needs additional support to keep them anchored into the ground. Yan yung function ng prop roots. Another one, medyo may pagka-scientific yung next na pangalan na babanggitin natin, we call it pneumatophores. Okay? Pneumatophores. So pneumatophores, classic example niyan is still the mangrove. Pneumatophores are specialized roots that grow upwards out of the soil or water. Yung mangroves natin, may part ng roots niya na nakasubmerge sa tubig, di ba? Now, ang question dyan is, paano kaya nakaka-survive yung roots na yun kung nakasubmerge sa tubig? Kung nakasubmerge yan sa tubig, more than likely, yan ay nalulunod, wala siyang nakukuhang oxygen. Nakakailanganin din ng halaman. However, part of the root system din ng ating mangroves, we call this pneumatophores, nasa taas. Okay? So yan. So anong ginagawa ng mga pneumatophores na to? Now, itong mga upward roots, they allow, they do absorb the oxygen from the air through specialized structures called lenticels. So, dyan sa mga roots na nasa taas o hindi nakalubog sa tubig, may specialized structure dyan, we call it as lenticels, and sila yung nag-a-absorb ng oxygen sa atmosphere, and then itinatransport nila yung oxygen na yun sa mga roots na nakasubmerge sa ilalim ng tubig. Now, pneumatophores enable your mangrove to survive in environments kung saan the soil is saturated with water and oxygen is lacking. So these lenticels primarily na nasa ating pneumatophores, they facilitate gas exchange and ensure na yung ating mga roots na nasa ilalim ng tubig, that they have access to oxygen needed for cellular respiration na napakahalaga sa metabolism ng ating halaman. So we're done with modified roots. Let's talk naman about specialized or modified stems, starting off with rhizomes. So rhizomes, classic example would be your ginger, your turmeric, and your bamboo. So what are rhizomes? Specifically, rhizomes are horizontal underground stems. Okay? So horizontal ang tubo ng mga stems na to, pero nasa ilalim sila ng lupa. But hindi naman sila sobrang lalim sa lupa. Actually, rhizomes grow near the soil surface. So itong mga rhizomes na to, may mga nodes sila from which roots and shoots can emerge. So ang purpose niya kung bakit horizontal yung tubo niya ay para din makapag-cover siya ng mas maluwang na area for reproduction purposes. And at the same time, yung mga rhizomes na to, they do contain carbohydrates. So ito'y storage din. Ang rhizome ay isang specialized modified stem that also stores carbohydrates, sugar, that can sustain your plant during periods kung saan hindi kaaya-aya yung kanyang environment for photosynthesis. Now, dalawa ang function ng rhizomes. As I have said earlier, dalawa ang functions ng rhizomes. Unang-una, para makapag-cover siya ng mas maluwang na ground. So, propagation-wise, rhizomes can spread out quickly and it can grow over a wide area. And pangalawa, ito ay isang source of carbohydrates. during those times na yung halaman natin ay hindi makapag-photosynthesize ng sarili niyang pagkain. In relation to rhizome, we also have another specialized or modified stem we call as tubers. So ang tubers, okay, ang pinaka-purpose talaga ng tubers is the storage of food. So matatabang stems yan, underground, sa ilalim ng lupa, na ang pinaka-purpose niya is to store starch, carbohydrates. A classic example would be our potato. So, ang potato pala na nasa ilalim ng lupa ay hindi root, but rather it is a stem. Yes, exactly. Kasi yung ating potato, kung mapapansin nyo, meron siyang mga mata. Okay? May mga mata yung ating patatas. And from those eyes, from those structures, doon tumutubo yung mga new shoots, yung mga new buds, shoots and roots that allows the plant to propagate itself. Okay? Now, tubers, again, ang pinaka-main na purpose niya is that it acts as a storage organ, providing the plant with reserve energy to survive unfavorable conditions such as, sabihin na natin, may winter sa western countries or kapag may droughts. Another example of a specialized stem or a modified stem would be your bulbs. Okay? Bulbs, example niyan would be your onion. So ano nga ba ang gamit ng onion? Onion ay ng bulbs, I mean. Bulbs are still storage stem structures. Okay? Storage pa rin ang gamit niya. Ang unique lang sa bulbs natin is that itong structure na to ay stem pero it is covered by nutrient-rich leaves. So kumbaga, kung iisipin natin, mayroon siyang dalawang modified plant part. Mayroon siyang stem that is underground na kino-cover ng nutrient-rich leaves. So kung ito yung ating stem, kung yan yung stem ng bulb natin, yung tumutubo sa ating onion would be your lateral buds or yan yung magde-develop na bagong halaman. And yung layers na nakikita natin sa ating onion, these are actually leaves. These are fleshy leaves, yung mga nasa loob, yung layers na nakikita natin. Itong fleshy leaves na to gives nutrients to your lateral buds. And yung pinaka-cover niya is another modified leaves, but this time around, scale leaves na yung pinaka bumabalot sa kanya, which is also the function of conserving food and water within your bulb. So very interesting ang structure ng bulb, ano? Kasi hindi lang siya modified stem, but it is a modified stem that is covered by specialized leaves as well, which provides nutrients to your bulb, to your onion, and to your plants. Another modified stem structure would be your thorns. Okay? What are thorns? These are sharp structures at ang pinaka-purpose niya is to protect the plant. To protect from what? To protect the plant na kainin ng any predator. So kapag meron kang herbivore dyan, let's say baka, gusto nilang kainin yung rose or citrus, rose yan, and citrus, hindi nila makakain. Bakit? Aba, may mga spike, masakit kainin. So these animals will get deterred from eating this kind of plants who has thorns. So yun naman talaga ang purpose ng thorns. Protektahan yung halaman para hindi siya kainin ng mga hayop. And kapag hindi siya kinain ng mga hayop, mas mataas yung kanyang chances na mag-propagate, magpalahi, mag-reproduce. Mas mataas yung kanyang reproductive success. Another modified stem is called your cladodes. So cladodes, makikita natin yan sa cactus. Okay? Yung mismong cactus, yung tumigas na parang dahon ng cactus na to, these are not actually leaves, but these are stems. So these are stems that become flattened. Na-flatten siya in order to act as a leaf. So itong mga specialized stems na to, itong mga cladodes na to, they are stems that become flattened and act as a leaf, and therefore they are also functioning as an organ that photosynthesizes para magbigay ng nutrient doon sa ating halaman. Later on makikita natin ano ba nga, kung ito ay stem, alin garud dyan yung dahon ng cactus. So nag-wonder kayo kung alin dyan yung dahon ng cactus. Later on, i-discuss natin yan. So ang mga cladodes, they allow the plants to perform photosynthesis while minimizing water loss, which is very essential sa mga cactuses natin kasi ang mga cactuses natin ay nabubuhay sa dry desert environments. So by replacing, later on, di-discuss natin yan. Kung ito yung stem na naging dahon, nasan kaya yung kanyang true dahon? Yun, malalaman natin yun mamaya. Now, next type of specialized stem would be your stolons. So, stolons, also known as your runners, yan ay horizontal stems that grow above ground. Okay? Above ground yan tumutubo. Now, itong mga stems na to, they are capable of producing new shoots and roots at their nodes. And because of that, they can propagate kahit na hindi sila naglalagay or nagtatanim ng seeds. Okay? So they are acting as if they are cloning themselves. So they are growing horizontally, nagpapatubo sila ng sarili nilang lahi horizontally, and they are covering wider areas as well when it comes to them reproducing. Stolons play a crucial role in vegetative reproduction. By spreading horizontally, they allow the plant to colonize new areas rapidly. And yung kanilang main form of reproduction is asexual. Ibig sabihin yan, yung ating new plants, they are genetically identified to the parent plant. So they are taking advantage kung ito yung modification nila, especially kapag yung environment nila is not well suited for seed survival, let's say. So kahit na walang seed, they can reproduce themselves. Yan ang stolons. Another one, I think it would be the last one, na modified stem, would be your corms. Now, your corms, this looks like your bulbs actually. Your corms are short, vertical, swollen underground stems na ang pinaka-purpose din niya is to store nutrients. Okay? Now, ano yung difference ng corms sa bulbs? Ang corms, they are primarily composed of stem tissue. Ang bulbs kasi natin, mayroon kang maliit na stem tissue, but primarily, it is composed by leaf tissue. Kasi kung mapapansin natin, meron siyang fleshy leaves and scale leaves kanina. Ang corms, wala siya gaanong, it is not dominated by fleshy leaves, but rather, corms are produced they are produced from tissues out of their modified stem. Okay. Although, the surface of corm is still covered with thin, papery leaves. So, yung surface niya, modified leaves rin yan. Pero yung pinaka-interior, it's really filled with solid starch and other nutrients. So, isa parang pagkakaiba nila, yung bulbs natin, kung binuksan mo yan, kung biniyak mo yan, makakapansin ka ng layering sa loob. Ang corms, wala. Solid yan kapag biniyak natin. Okay? So again, ang pinaka-purpose ng corms, they serve as storage organs. So storage organs allowing the plants to survive kahit na very unfavorable yung conditions, such as kapag may drought or kapag may winter, if we're talking about the seasons in the West. So last one would be, let's talk about some types of modified leaves naman. Ano-ano kaya yung mga to? Unahin natin yung tendrils. Okay? So tendrils, ito yung specialized leaves ng ilan sa mga halaman natin that coils that coils and helps the plant to climb. Okay? So yung tendrils na to, tinutulungan niya yung mga halaman natin na tumubo pataas or kumapit sa mga structures para siya ay mag-climb pataas. So ano example ng mga halaman na may tendrils? One example would be your grapes, di ba? Yung grapes natin, tumutubo yan umaakyat yan kasi siya ay vine, so may tendril yan. And yung ating mga peas, yung ating sayote ay may tendrils din. So ano ba kasi ang purpose ng halaman para umakyat siya? So ang purpose niyan, sipin nyo na lang, kung itong halaman na to ay nakatira sa isang area kung saan very dense yung population ng iba't ibang halaman, maaaring hindi sila nabibigyan ng araw. So para sila ay maarawan, nakadevelop sila ng specialized leaf structure, which we call as tendrils, para tumaas sila and take advantage of more sunlight. Kumbaga, aakyat sila para sila ay mas mataas na doon sa population ng mga halaman doon sa kanilang area. So yun yung reason kung bakit nakadevelop sila ng tendrils. Now itong mga tendrils na to, they are sensitive to touch. Ibig sabihin kapag may nahawakan silang object, automatic na titrigger yung mechanism nila for contact, and this tendril will grip into that nearby structure. So pwedeng halaman yan, pwedeng trellis, pwedeng fences, pwedeng kahit stick lang nakatayo, pwede niyang akyatin yan. So once attached, these tendrils will provide stability to the climbing plant, and it will allow the plant to grow upwards. And yung purpose niya, the plant will grow upwards and access more sunlight. So the tendrils help climbing plants reach sunlight by providing support habang umaakyat sila. And this climbing ability allows plants to compete effectively for light, especially kapag yung area mo has dense vegetation, para mas mataas yung chances kapag may araw, kapag nakakasagap sila ng araw, mas mataas yung chances that they can photosynthesize and grow. Another specialized structure, makikita to ulit sa cactus, which is leaves, specialized leaves or modified leaves, is yung spine. Oh, so yun pala, yung dahon sa cactus, yung tusok. Yes, exactly. Yung tusok sa dahon ng cactus, yan actually yung dahon natin. Itong akala natin na dahon na yan ay actually stem. Diba? Pero itong spine na yan yung pinakadahon ng cactus. So bakit siya naging spine? Well, unang-una, to protect the cactus itself from predators. And pangalawa, naging spine siya to reduce leaf surface area. So dahil mas mababa yung surface area niya, nung naging spine siya, mas nami-minimize natin yung water loss through transpiration. Alam natin, hindi maganda sa isang cactus na nagkakaroon siya ng water loss. Bakit? Kasi ang environment kung saan lumalaki ang cactus ay sa disyerto, kung saan napakainit. So ang gusto ng cactus natin ay to conserve as much water as he can. Kaya yung kanyang leaves ay naging spine para mabawasan yung surface area and to reduce water lost habang siya ay nasa disyerto. Okay? Another specialized leaf would be your succulent leaves. Classic example would be your aloe vera, right? The succulent leaves, ang pinaka-purpose niyan is to store water. Why do they store water? Kasi these plants are mostly growing in areas that are arid, so mainit, and wala masyadong rainfall, wala masyadong tubig. So kailangan niya ng specialized structure na kung saan makakapag-store siya ng tubig na gagamitin niya to survive and to grow. So these are succulent leaves. Bracts, these are leaves naman na dahon, pero ang purpose niya is to attract pollinators. Classic example would be bougainvilleas and poinsettias. Yan. So yung mga flowers kasi ng bougainvillea and poinsettia, hindi siya ganun ka hindi siya nakaka-attract. Yan. Hindi siya nakaka-attract ng mga pollinators kasi it's either maliit siya or hindi siya ganun kagandahan. Now, to compensate for that limitation, nag-develop sila ng specialized modified leaves we call as bracts. So itong mga dahon na to, matitingkad yung kulay kasi ang pinaka-purpose nila is to attract pollinators. So mostly yung mga leaves na yan, makikita mo malapit doon sa true flower ng halaman. So dahil maganda sila, yung ating mga insects, yung mga pollinators, naa-attract sila, pupunta sila dyan, and therefore encouraging pollination and propagation of your plants. So yan yung bracts na tinatawag. Another modified leaf would be your carnivorous leaves. Now, this is very interesting, right? Kasi kala natin ang halaman hindi kumakain. Pero for some plants, they do eat. Akala natin ang halaman nagpo-photosynthesize lang, no? Yun lang yung way niya of pagkain niya. Pero meron tayong mga carnivorous leaves kung saan kumakain sila ng insekto para punan yung kulang na nitrogen sa kanilang environment. So yun ang purpose ng carnivorous leaves. They trap and digest insects. Tapos kasi yung mga insekto na to, mayroon yang mayaman yan sa nitrogen. And yung nitrogen na yun yung wala sa environment ng ating mga carnivorous plants. So they've developed carnivorous leaves to consume insects that would provide them with nitrogen. Examples of carnivorous leaves would be your Venus flytrap, so this one, and your pitcher plant. Yan. So ito yung for example, yung Venus flytrap natin, kapag may insekto na pumunta dito, yan, magsasara yan unti-unti. And habang gumagalaw yung insekto, mas nagsasara yung dahon na yan up until such time na magsha-shutdown and magpuproduce siya ng enzymes that would decompose the insect within the leaves and i-absorb niya ngayon yung nitrogen ng insekto. Yan. So these are some of the modified plant organs, especially roots, stems, and leaves. And ito yung i-present natin ngayon yung mga different types of modified stems, leaves, and roots, as well as the examples for these modified structures. I hope marami kayong natutunan ngayon and magamit nyo to sa inyong pag-aaral ng agriculture or kung magtitake kayo ng boards, magamit nyo to sa pagsagot ng mga board exam. Thank you so much and have a great day. Have a blessed review session, everyone.